Hi, and welcome back to the Ravioli podcast. On this episode, I'll be playing the game He's a 10, but. And in the end, I posted a poll on Instagram this week about relationships advice, so I'm going to read some if I have time. But first, let's read the He's a 10 but assumptions, and I'm going to comment on them and we'll see what I'm going to say. I'm not preparing the assumptions. I'm just going to randomly pick some of them. So I don't even know what to say. Like I'm not prepared. So this is going to be my real reaction, my live and honest reaction to all the assumptions. Let's go. He's a 10, but he's really impulsive and spontaneous to a fault. I don't know like how extremely impulsive and spontaneous you can be that it becomes annoying, because I wish I wish my boyfriend was more spontaneous in that sense, like regarding, I don't know, just gift giving or arranging plans, different things to do by like himself, and like surprises. I don't think I'm a surprise type of person because I'm really planned in the things I do weekly and daily and in general. But I like surprises. I think like spontaneous and impulsive are two different things. Like for me, spontaneous, it has like a positive connection, and impulsive is like more negative. Like impulsive, someone that always do the things without thinking, and sometimes it ends hurting people or you. So in that matter, impulsive, it's a really red flag. But I don't know, like I think it would be a 7 out of 10. He's a 10, but he's really close minded and resistant to change. For sure, you should not date someone that has not your values or hasn't your like way of thinking and the way of how you view the world if they are not aligned. Like, you don't have to agree in everything, of course, that's kind of just impossible, but on the 101 things, like how you live your life and what's your attitude towards the world and towards other people, if they are not just slightly aligned, it's not going to work long term. Because in the beginning, it's not about your values, it's not about your opinions. In the beginning, it's like the passion phase, like you just get intimate with each other, but you don't care like if the other views, like if the other agrees with this statement or not. But if you are willing to take that relationship long term, or you are in one right now, I think that if you don't agree in like political things, religious things, or like society things, it's kind of difficult, because I don't even imagine myself having friends with different like different beliefs as mine. So a boyfriend, like if you have a boyfriend, um I I'm hoping that you wish you are going like to be forever with him, because if you have a boyfriend but you don't view yourself in a long-term relationship, it's kind of just not a boyfriend, it's like a situationship, and it's okay. Like, or it's another thing, you don't need to like label everything you see. But I'm just saying that if you want like a serious thing, that's what we are talking about right now, I would say no. Like, he's a 1 now, he's not a 10 anymore. He's a 10 but doesn't have any interests or passions of his own. This is also something that really bothers me, because I'm not saying I'm too picky, and you know, we are all different humans. We all have different like features and characteristics. Nobody is perfect. We are never going to find the perfect person for ourselves, because there is none. Even ourselves, we are not perfect for ourselves. Like, we find flaws in our being, so of course we are going to find weaknesses in other people, but someone that doesn't have any interests is like someone that hasn't like goals or dreams. Bothers me because I've never felt that. I was always a girl like who dreamed about the future. I don't usually make big plans for the future because we never know. And from my experience of life, by far, I know that we cannot make big plans in long term for our life. But I, like I've always wanted to do something, or I've always worked for something in the future. I'm not like just because for me, someone that hasn't any interests is someone that, like, what do you think about then? Because I guess like we wake up every day because deeply in our mind we are working towards something, we are, trying to achieve a goal. It's something that doesn't resonate. For me, that's like a barrier, a red flag. Someone that would be with me but wouldn't have like goals for the future. It would be someone that would not challenge me. And I also like to be with people around me, not only like a significant other, but also friends and like people I know. I like them to be people that are trying to work for something, because in that way they motivate me and like we motivate each other. And if people are just like doing nothing and trying to accomplish nothing, it's like you don't add any value into my life. That's kind of sad. And sometimes people are going through phases. So if you are like with a boyfriend that you have been for quite some time, but he's like in a stagnant era that he doesn't know what to do anymore, like he's kind of confused or something, I'm not saying that break up with him because you are not going to agree anymore with the things and it's not going to work. No, like if it's just a phase, like sometimes people go blunt in their minds. And I don't know, like I don't know if I've been through that because I cannot recall any time, but I know that sometimes we go through depressive phases because something happened that really disappointed us, and now we are not like willing to do something because we feel sad, we feel like disappointed with ourselves. But if that's the case, you are together to go through the rough phases too, not just only the happy moments, happy couple moments. So you have to be there for him. But if it's someone that from since the beginning hasn't shown any interests long term, like what does he like to do, or he just likes random he just likes to be like doing nothing all day, that's not the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, or like the next years with you. That's not good. For me, it's 2 or 3, depending like the reasons you are with him. He's a 10 but doesn't like to dance. I feel sorry because, I know how to dance in terms of like contemporary dance that I've practiced in the past, but in couples dance style, I'm not good at that. That's awkward for me because I don't know how to do that. Even though I've danced in the past, it's not the same type of dance. And like I remember that when I was a kid and I was in dance too, but my friends were like in hip hop or other styles, more action and vivid styles. I was so bad because we used to teach each other dances, like our dance styles. And I was like, I'm going to make fun of me. I'm not even letting you making fun of me because I'm going to do that myself. For me, it's really hard. And couples dance, they are slower, but still like I can't. And for me, it's kind of just cringe to do that because I'm not good. So I don't blame if the other person doesn't know, because why would I like just blame someone for something if I'm not that great? I guess it's still a 10. He's a 10 but never listens to your advice. This sucks, okay? Like, I'm not saying I've been through that, but for example, with my boyfriend, when it comes to me recommending and suggesting movies or TV shows or, I don't know, memes online, he never listens to me. You know, that people that are like, oh, movies, only the classic ones, or like only like Knives Out. I love Knives Out, by the way, but you know, those people that they cannot watch rom-coms or like romances or something because it has to be that style, or you are not going even to. I'm not saying I enjoy that movies, but they entertain me. So sometimes I feel like he doesn't care because he underestimates my advice. And by the way, I was the one who showed him Love and Death. I was the one who showed him Yellow Jackets and so many other things that he ended up liking, as well as some of the recommendations he gives me. I also like some, others I don't, but at least I consider them. And sometimes that really pisses me off. Like Kelsey Kreppel, I found her because of him, and it was amazing. And other things, I just don't find them funny at all. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to like it. I'm just kind of in a joking way. It happens, in fact, but it's not something that really bothers me and changes my life and my relationship and it becomes toxic. No. But for example, when it comes to organizing or studying, he comes after me like, please help me because I trust you in that matter. So, you know, it kind of just, it's not, I'm not just saying I feel this, but if you are with a person that never listens to you because, oh, you don't understand anything, like, why should I listen to you? Like, I don't trust your gut, or like, I don't view your opinion as valid. That really sucks. And I don't know if that's because of like gender or like age, you know, if he's older or if he's like a male versus female. I don't know where that comes from, but if that's like systematic, continuous, and it really bothers you and you talk about it and he still doesn't care, because I think that if you are going to try to talk to him about this but he already does not care about what you say, he's not going to care that you are trying to tell him that and like come to an agreement or try to change things. So if that doesn't work out, no. So for me, it's like, I don't know, a 4. He's a 10 but doesn't know how to express his emotions or show affection. I started dating when I was 15 and I didn't know how to show my affections. Like, I was really cringe. And in the first year, like in the first months of dating, I was like, should we kiss? Like, you know, we are teenagers. Okay, I think if it was now if I was starting dating now, like at 20, 22, I would be more mature and like, fake it, I'm going just to I'm banging you here. But when I was 15, it was not the case. I was also different. If I go backwards and remind of those moments, I'm like, why? Like, right now, I would never do that again. Like, the way I was so intimate with that person, comparing to the first moments, it's like, why all that cringiness? Because the result and the outcome was so like normal. But it happens in all relationships between people, not only with significant others, but like with friendships, with relatives. When you don't know the person really well, it becomes awkward. Even though if you are like, it doesn't matter if you are an extrovert or an introvert, the first moments you don't feel the most comfortable either way. So I don't blame that. If you are with him for 6 months now or more and he still doesn't know how to show like affection for you, and he doesn't know how to express what he's feeling, his emotions. I don't know, just try to talk and help him with co-mechanisms. I don't know. I don't really know. I think that's not necessary, because in the end, like, things take time, but they will get there. Always get there. The last, he's a 10, but he's a 10 but can't seem to commit to anything, whether it's plans or a relationship. I think this one is like simple, more or less. Of course, I'm an outsider, so from my point of view, it's always easy because I'm not going through that situations. But if you cannot commit to a relationship, that means that you are not in a relationship right now. It doesn't work. You know that for a fact now. At least you know that. It's better than having like misunderstandings and you are not communicating within your relationship, and then you cannot talk and try to understand what's happening. So, like, before even going to a relationship, which is good because you are not going to be brokenhearted. That's hard. You already know that he's not into relationships. So you either decide like, okay, I'm just going to maintain a relationship, like friend with benefits thing, and it works for me, and it's like a problem for me in the future, in a couple of months or even weeks. I don't know what you are expecting, like what both of you are expecting for that thing, but like we'll see where it leads us. Like, he's not committing. Okay, so in a couple of weeks, do I want to keep going, just banging him? Or I'm settling down, so I'm going to cut this for good? Or you don't even try to go further, like you are on your first date and you kind of just understand the red flags here and there, and you feel like, okay, he's not committing, he's not here to commitment to a relationship. So you know that on the first date you can either decide what I was saying, go further, or you just don't arrange a second date. You will meet plenty of people in this life, like there's plenty of fish in the sea. And I guess I'm just too logical today. I'm not always like this, so I'm sorry if I was like ruthless. But if it's the beginning, it can be like hard in terms of, oh my god, I had this expectation, but in the end, like in a month, you are going to look back and it's like, what the heck? Why was I thinking I was going to suffer from this? It was nothing. Now I've been with like 2 more people or something, like in retrospect, it's nothing. I guess that's my advice. Let's see what you have to say. Someone said, don't get into one, like don't get into a relationship. Probably this person is traumatized or not. I'm not saying like go, just go. Because sometimes you don't have the guts to do that because you are not willing to do that, and that's okay. Don't go into one if you're not feeling. But at the same time, like if you are deeply curious, like if you are 100% curious about what's going to lead, like where's the thinking going to lead, but you are afraid, like, oh my god, I just had a breakup, or I just had a really bad breakup a few years ago that lasted like 5 years and I'm just deeply traumatized into my fucking ass. I would say like just go, because if like the first times, the first weeks, they mean nothing, so they just mean something in books, okay? Like in books you can marry in 1 week and you are happily forever after and nothing bad happens, but in real life, no. Like 2 weeks, if you think like the 2 weeks before this ones, they pass really fast because that's time. Don't be afraid to go on dates, and when you start dating, continue going on dates. Okay, so first, don't be afraid to go on dates. Yeah, that's kind of related to what I was saying. Don't be afraid on going in dates. But also, like, if you are just in a date and you are finding it like the other person annoying, or you are not agreeing with some of, like, if you are already like sharing some society values and you are just kind of disagreeing with everything, just like cut that off. And when you start dating, continue going on dates. I think that's really sweet. Like, I love to still go on dates with my boyfriend, like, even though we've been together for so many years, because like it's something that is dynamic to our relationship. And sometimes I like to go to the same places we went in the beginning, or like just have conversations that we just had in the beginning, recall the good old times. Like in the beginning it was so like naive and sweet and like funny, and now of course it's more serious. And I guess that's something that really balances your relationship, because sometimes you go through rough phases and you cannot give the other person as much as you wanted. So I think these things, like these dates, can be small moments where you can just be out of your routine, maintain your relationship inner flame alive. Both of you have the same vibe, way of living, and like daily basis routine. You don't have to be with a boyfriend and always seeking for him to be your soulmate. There are plenty of people that never meet their soulmate, because that's not even a concrete thing. But if you feel that way, that's awesome, and I just wish you the best. And I think that's it for today. Thank you for listening to another episode. If you want to be updated on everything I do every day, you can go follow me on Instagram. The link is here in the description below. Also, you can follow the pod Instagram, that is Ravioli Podcast. We'll talk next week. Bye.